Hello out there in the internet universe. My name is T-Rex. I'm wearing a blonde wig. I'm not trying to be white. Hi! Alright.
Hey guys, what's going on? It's me, Destiny. And I was just up reading and I stumbled across a few very interesting blog posts, and I was looking at some pictures of hairstyles, and there was this woman who had some blonde hair and she was darker skinned. And there were so many people in the comments giving her straight shit. They were giving her hell about her hair. And it wasn't even just because she was dark skinned, because there were light skinned girls and they were getting hell. There was a whole bunch of girls, all different tones of African American women with red and blonde hair who were getting crap for dyeing their hair or wearing weaves a certain color. There are many cultures of black people, African American, African, Aboriginals, South Sea Islanders, that have naturally red and blonde hair.
Let's talk about black people with blonde hair. I love dark skin on blonde hair.
This is the commentary on black people wearing blonde hair.
There are Melanesians that have blonde hair naturally. There are black people that are gingers naturally. I am not trying to be white.
Racism in the United States has been widespread since the colonial era. Legally or socially sanctioned privileges and rights were given to the white Americans but denied to Native Americans, African Americans, Asian Americans, and Hispanic and Latino Americans. European Americans, particularly the affluent white Anglo-Saxon Protestants, were granted exclusive privileges in matters of education, immigration, voting rights, citizenship, land acquisition, and criminal procedure over periods of time extending from the 17th century to the 1960s. However, non-Protestant immigrants from Europe, particularly Irish people, Poles, and Italians, suffered xenophobic exclusion and other forms of ethnicity-based discrimination in American society, were vilified as racially inferior, and were not considered fully white. In addition, Middle Eastern American groups like Jews and Arabs have faced continuous discrimination in the United States, and as a result, some people belonging to these groups do not identify as white. East and South Asians have similarly faced racism in America. Slavery, segregation, the American Indian Wars, Native American reservations, Native American boarding schools, immigration and naturalization law, and internment camps. Formal racial discrimination was largely banned in the mid-20th century and came to be perceived as socially unacceptable and or morally repugnant as well. Racial politics remain a major phenomenon, and racism continues to be reflected in socio-economic inequality. Racial stratification continues to occur in employment, housing, education, lending, and government.
Hiya. I just saw a video that almost made me cry. Video with a young boy trying to have fun on a playground, but he couldn't. Even though his mom was there with him, they weren't allowed to enter They were challenged by the color of their skin. Racism is horrible. They laughed at that boy, they called him a monkey and even hit him in front of his mom, like he didn't matter. Like he wasn't a human. The boy and mom moved away to an empty area of that playground. The same children screamed at him. They couldn't accept the fact that he was still there. They approached him and his mom, called them names again, and even hit that boy in front of his mom. And at that point she knew that the best way was the way out. Passing by the parents who played with their children, who sat on the benches right next to them, fully ignoring what just happened. This is crazy. Share this video, and the next time I see something like this, I won't let it happen. Never be accepting of racism. Because what's most shocking to me is not just the fact that such young children can be racist nowadays, or the parents can let it happen so carelessly, but also how patiently this mom reacted to it, as if it's an everyday life. Every single day, people all around the world experience racism.
Dante was bullied so badly because of his race, he had to change school.
It comes in many forms, and now we know that it also comes from people of many ages. We need to say a freaking loud no to racism. What we can do is to make sure that with each year, with new generations, it will slowly die.
Alright. T-Rex here. Every day I go out, it depends on what wig I'm wearing, but I get shit the most when I wear blonde hair.
Popular restaurant chain is accused of racial discrimination by a former employee, and it all centers around her hair.
White waitresses are allowed to have highlights in their hair, but black waitresses are not.
My other co-workers, they all had different color in their hair, red and blonde highlights. I didn't think it would be an issue.
Johnson was fired after managers told her her hair color violated employee image standards.
They specifically said black women don't have blonde in their hair.
25-year-old Baron Johnson's blonde highlights now at the center of this complaint filed with the Maryland Commission on Civil Rights.
Which it's ironic because blonde hair is when I find the most work. Oh, you're black. There aren't any blonde black people in the world. You must be trying to be white. That trope, that prejudgment should just kind of go out the window. But it hasn't yet because people haven't opened up a book or haven't been exposed to that. They don't really know. There are black people in the world with blonde hair naturally.
Why do we hate?
We hate because we're taught to hate. We hate because we're ignorant. We're the product of ignorant people who have been taught an ignorant thing, which is that there are 4 or 5 different races. There's only one race on the face of the earth, and we're all members of that race, the human race.
When it comes to appropriation goes back and forth. It just depends on how you look at it, I guess. Like, when white people appropriate any culture, it's like, dude, you guys are colonizers. You've gone across the world and literally have colonized all of the planet to your liking. I guess European beauty standards are it.
Guys, I can't believe that you just said that.
Say what?
The N-word?
So then you got white people who say the N-word. Don't say the N-word, it's not for you.
So? Nobody's around? Yeah.
You'd think white people would know better than to drop the N-word in public. But one Kendrick Lamar fan clearly didn't get the memo. A white female fan named then came up, but bombed pretty damn hard she blurted out the N-word 3 times. On stage, in front of 30,000 people. Lamar had to cut the music to ask her to bleep the word. She initially asked, but apologized and begged to stay after cluing into her slip-up.
You gotta bleep one single word, though.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I do it?
Yeah, you did it.
Despite the audience uproar, Delaney got a second chance.
Should she stay up here, y'all?
No, please keep me up here. I got you.
But not being allowed to say the N-word was apparently too much because she promptly screwed up the song and got booed off the stage anyway. Twitter was two minds about the slip, with one camp fully understanding the wrong and blurting out a racial slur. The others, though, just don't get it, saying it's in the lyrics. Obviously, Kendrick Lamar totally set up that poor white girl by writing the song.
I don't drop that shit. I call people dinos instead. Nah, my dino. No. Yeah, dino. Dino. Don't drop the N-word.
Ma'am, and then I will hear, Rolanda, you were saying you'd be transparent. I want to hear what that is, but yes, ma'am, you first.
Hi, I come from a mixed background. My dad's from Panama. My stepmom is Lebanese and Caucasian. And they've always told me if anybody calls you the N-word, you have a right to fight. You have a right to actually stand up for yourself because that's not right for them to call you that word. In the same respect, currently I live with a white girl and her boyfriend who is black. And on occasion, she will call him the N-word endearingly. But exactly.
So confusing.
And I'll hear them. I'll be in like the kitchen or the bathroom and just go, whoa, what? Why are they having this conversation? And I've talked to both of them about it equally. He says he doesn't care, and she's just like, oh, I just mean it endearingly. I'm like, the minute you call me an N-word, we're gonna be in a fight.
Sister, you need to move. And you need to move now, girl. Move. Move to a new apartment.
I think
Y'all would rather me be an animal anyway and cage me the fuck up? I'll give you an animal. I'm a dinosaur. Fuck with the dino, you get the teeth. Don't call me an N-word. Don't drop the N-word. Don't ever use the N-word, even if it's in the music you listen to. I don't give a fuck.
Here's why the N-word is off limits.
Don't say the N-word. It's not for you.
I'm not trying to be white. I know we all went to the movies and saw Black Panther and Wakanda Forever.
Past willing this will go quickly and I can get this ridiculous thing off my head. It looks nice. Just whip it back and forth then. What? It's a disgrace.
I saw Danae toss the colonized wig to the side. That shit was hilarious. We also saw what life might be like if we were Unnatural. If you've seen any of the trailers for A Wrinkle in Time, however, you'll notice Oprah Winfrey donning plenty of blonde wigs to keep me cosplaying the blonde look forever. No hate, I'm natural up under my wig.
So we're on our last braid and then I'm up for the first shot of the day. This is not just a typical cornrow. Usually when you get a weave, this is how you get your hair braided.
But I still like playing dress up and turning out looks for days. All I have to say with this post is just because I have a blonde wig on doesn't mean I think I'm less black or that I'm trying to assimilate. If I'm real about how fake I am, I mean, obviously it's a wig. Why are you mad?